Hey, what's happening to you guys? Pyros here and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different because this is a topic that has been kind of heavily debated ever since The Last of Us 2 came out. Now this is spoiler obviously, so if you don't want to hear what I'm about to talk about, please leave the video now. This is your first and last warning. I'm not going to give you another one. We're going to be talking about the fate of Joel. This has been a heavily debated discussion over the internet, and both sides have made their cases as to why he should have died and he shouldn't have died. And to be honest, if I'm being perfectly honest with you guys, both sides make sense. And I don't want to be the type of guy that's bench sitting, so I'll give you my opinion now so you can understand that I'm not bench sitting as person. Whatever. Basically, for me, I personally think that Joel shouldn't have died, and I'll give you my reasons at the end of the video. But yeah, this is where I stand. I don't think Joel should have died in the way that he did. I mean, I don't care if he dies. I just don't like the way it happened. So, anyways, let's give you guys the arguments for and against why Joel's death made sense. Let's go against the for, like the people who agree that his death makes sense and whatever the case may be. So, as you guys know, Joel after he saved Ellie in the first game, he obviously went back to town, the area where Tommy and what's her wife's name, Marie, I believe, founded and whatever. He's been there for 4 years now, and Joel is about 50-ish years old. We don't know exactly how old he is. He's in his 50s anyways, in The Last of Us 2, after the 4 years skip. A lot of people have made the argument that because of the 4 years of peace, and the fact that he's pretty much in his he's in his midlife cycle right now, he's old essentially, he has become rusty, he has become more trusting of people, so essentially that would lead to him letting his guard down. Now, what was bothering me with that argument essentially is that, for me personally, I feel like if you're someone who has gone 20 years not trusting anyone, those habits don't usually die out that quickly, especially if we're just talking about 4 years of peace essentially. 20 years of not trusting people will become a habit to you. Secondly, this guy went on a fucking killing spree. Let's keep that in mind. He has made some very dangerous enemies, from the hunters. Now, I don't know if it's true or not, but I think I remember Tommy saying that the Fireflies were done. But obviously there'll be ex-members of the Fireflies still lingering around, who will probably likely remember that some guy stole their last chance for a cure, so they'll want vengeance and all that shit. So Joel is not stupid. He knows deep down that he's made some very dangerous enemies. And obviously the last point is that his peace shouldn't have really dampened his senses that much, considering that the world hasn't changed at all. Outside of those walls, there are still fucking clickers and infected outside. It should consistently remind him that the world is not safe. He should not be letting his skills and his senses dull down over the years. And also, he has that weight of not telling Ellie the truth about what he did at the hospital, so he should be consciously aware consistently throughout the time. That's kind of like why I have an issue with the whole 4 years of peace, the whole, it dulled his senses. Now, Joel helping people is not foreign. He helped people in the first game, like consistently, to be honest really. Anyone that showed him a reason for him to help him, he would help him. So him helping Abby was not a big surprise. It was something that you would do normally if you're a good person. Now, if I remember correctly in the interaction, it wasn't actually Joel's fault that he died. It was more so Tommy. I think Tommy was the one that introduced Abby to them. Like he came out and immediately told their names or whatever. I have to go back and check. I know it was Tommy's fault, I believe. I think it was his fault for revealing their names, which again, I don't think Tommy would have done, but seeing that Tommy's a little bit more different than Joel, Tommy doesn't really have a reason to hide essentially. I have to look this up, but I do believe that when they saved Abby, it was Tommy that was introducing himself and Joel to Abby, which obviously opened up a floodgate of emotions for Abby essentially. But at the same time, it also felt weird that you met someone being attacked by zombies. You don't know if this person is a dangerous person, if this person has a chance to lead, you know, his group or her group back to your group, and obviously do, you know how everyone has seen The Walking Dead. You know that when you trust people, eventually it's gonna bite you in the ass. Yeah, that's what happens. I don't know. Like, I feel like the two of them should have been on guard, especially since Tommy knows the truth as to what Joel did, so he too would have been a little bit more cautious in telling people his name. I don't know. This is what I was thinking of personally. It's more so the fact that what happened in that scene can be interpreted differently by different people. I interpreted this in a way that if I was Joel and I did all that fucking mass killing and I took humanity's last cure away from the world, I personally would be on guard 24/7, even if I have 4 years of peace, because I will never be able to rest peacefully. I mean, yeah, okay, I killed hunters who tried to kill me, fair enough, but he also killed innocent doctors who were just trying to do their job. That should still weigh on his conscience to some degree. So it would weigh on my conscience anyways. Like, I would not be able to relax. I would not be able to chill and just do my thing. I would consistently keep thinking about the innocent people that I may have just slaughtered just because they were trying to do their job. That's just me. But other people are like, they will get past it eventually. For other people, they would be like, you know what, I did what I had to do. It was the end of the world. People are dying. People are consistently dying. So my kills don't mean shit to me anymore. After I kill those people, I can relax and just do my thing and just whatever. So for some people, Joel's death made sense. Essentially, I know what the game was trying to teach you. I understand what the premise of the game is trying to teach you is that, you know, when you hurt people, you're gonna get hurt yourself. Vengeance only begets vengeance. So they were trying to teach you how your actions can have ramification to other people's lives. Essentially, right? We get that. It's just the way it was written. It was like they handed Abby Joel on a silver plate. That's what they did. They didn't give Abby enough time to research, to find out how he's gonna lower Joel out of the building. It wasn't anything that she, worked for. I don't know. Maybe she did. Maybe she did work for it. I don't know. But yeah, that was the argument for the fact that, you know, Joel's death made sense because he's getting old. He's a senile old man. 4 years of peace have dulled his senses. But I always would like to counter that with the fact that this guy went 20 years not trusting anyone. 4 years isn't just suddenly going to dull his senses. And also, a lot of people are saying that he became a father again, and becoming a father can change someone's personality. I would probably agree with that personally. We've seen it happen time and time again, but I don't think it would happen to that extent. I mean, once again, we would look at Rick, for example, from Walking Dead. I don't think Rick lost his senses as time went on. When he had that period of peace, his senses were still on sharp. He still knew that the world was in danger, and he still had to, you know, stay on guard and all that shit. And this has been a very heavily debated discussion, honestly, on the internet. I didn't realize it was going to be this debated. It's one of the most divisive aspect of the game. Yeah, I get it. Maybe it could be his old age, because he did seem super friendly to introduce himself to those people, and Tommy was very excited to bring those people back to the base. It's weird. Like, did the hunters just die out as well? Like, what's going on? Like, it didn't make any sense. I feel like they would be very, very cautious of hunters, people who might take advantage of the situation. You know, they have now kids and women that they have to protect, so just inviting a couple of strangers over to your base also doesn't seem to make sense to me. And I'm speaking this in the sense that I've seen The Walking Dead. I know that you can't just trust people like that. You have to examine them. You have to make sure that you are bringing the right people back to your home base where you have your family and all that shit. So I think the writing just didn't make sense. Joel dying, he could have died at any time. He could have died 10 minutes into the fucking game. He could have died 10 hours into the game. It would have not made no difference. It's just the way it was written. It just didn't make sense, from my opinion. But that's how it is. Different people have interpreted this game completely different, and it's based on how you would have survived in a apocalyptic world where zombies are basically running around and doing their shit and all that stuff. That's just my thoughts and opinion on it. I just want to voice my thoughts and opinion on it because it's very interesting. I want to hear what people have to say about this. Like, you know, I've heard the argument for both sides. You know, people are saying, oh, it makes sense, it adds to the story. You know, it was time for Joel to go, his peaceful days were over and all that shit. And obviously people are saying it didn't make sense from the writing's perspective. You know, it took away something from the character to make him a little bit less, I guess, on guard. I truly believe he should have been more on guard. I mean, you can't teach old dogs new tricks personally, and I don't think 20 years of not trusting people can be erased by just 4 years of peacefulness, or 4 years of having a daughter. It's like, that doesn't work out like that. It doesn't work out like that. I think, and I also think it wasn't even Joel's fault. It was Tommy's fault. Tommy was the one who told Abby both of their names. And again, when they were trapped. But then Joel again introduced his own name, but at that point it would have been too late because Abby already knew who he was. So even if he lied at that point, it was over. Like, there was nothing he could have done. There was nothing he could have done. But anyways, let me know what you guys think. I'm Pyros, and I'll catch you guys next time.